We are off property in town today with Willow, working on more healing around distractions, staying in that perfect spot next to and slightly behind Josh's leg. I know a lot of my videos are repetitive, but with her, she needs the practice. She needs it to become so patterned, it's a routine, because it was so difficult to walk her before. She was doing anything but this. She was either pulling, she was lagging behind, she was moving too far to the left. We finally got her to that point where walks have become nice and effortless. Look at that. How's she feeling?
Really good.
Good. It's all about motivation to keep her in that spot next to your leg. She looks really nice. Hey, sir, can I pet your dog?
I'm sorry.
Is that the Target dog? She looks really cool. Hey, can I pet her? Sir? Hi. Wow, look at that. Maybe once we get to this shady spot, we can ask for a DOWN. This is a big tell. Will she listen off property?
Stay.
Still can't do that stay. We've walked all over town. This is the tail end of the session. Still walking in a nice heel. We walked past some barking dogs. We walked past a person. Really, what matters is what does your dog do around distractions, you know? She's walking in heel and then she sees a squirrel, or then she sees a dog, and then she sees a person. She wants to leave heel. What does she do when you tell her to stay in heel? That's what we're trying to prove by all these off-property outings. Beautiful job. Slowing down with Josh, stopping with Josh.
Stay.
Stay and walk away, very difficult for her.
That's a good girl. Down. No. No. Down. Good.
Still having trouble with the stay, the walk away, and the down. And this moment right here is why we need more time with a dog like this. So she's had so many reps on that, and she is still testing it. Back into the heel. We can't send her home not having a stay. And the crazy thing is that she 100% knows for sure what we are asking, and she's still testing. Let's do another one. Now, I don't. If her owner is watching this, don't drop the leash in town. Keep your dog on a leash. Tested it one time there and got it on the second rep. Good job. Now, why doesn't she want to stay? Why doesn't she want to down? It's not because she doesn't like the commands. She doesn't want to give up her freedom of choice. She wants to stay on top, in control. She wants to have the freedom to do what she wants to do. And if you're putting her in a down state, you're taking away that freedom.
An interesting thing about that point is that it's only really that way. It's only really difficult when the dog is given the freedom at one point early in life, and then somebody tries to take it away.
Yeah, and that tracks with her because she's had so many reps of breaking out of the yard and running around at free will.
Right. Most of the dogs that come here, so it's like that. But if you raise them where you incrementally open up their world to them, like what they're allowed to do, just like you would with a kid, you're not, I'm not going to let my 6-year-old try to drive the car. That's for later in life. So we're slowly opening up their world as they learn the skills and as they show us that they're loyal enough. But what ends up happening most of the time when people get dogs is they bring them home, they tell them how much they love them, and then they say, all this is yours. And then the dog just runs around the house, does whatever, it has access to every room.
Oh yeah, I mean, she was running up to people, biting their pant legs.
They just get complete freedom. And then we're like, okay, we can't give you complete freedom because it turns out you
we don't
destroy
like your
everything.
choices, yeah.
So we're going to take it away now. And the dog's like, no, right? So that's why if you raise them with the process of like it's training and you're opening up the world systematically as they develop from, a few months to half a year to 3 years, all the way up, it's not that you won't, it's not that the dog won't do some of these bad behaviors, it's that they're not patterned and that they're not associated with like the norm. So it's much easier of a process.
And then pair it with a difficult breed.
Right. So
It's
this
like a
girl,
perfect storm, you know?
So because she's kind of had her, she's got the temperament she's got, and then she's also ran the roost, taking that away from her and saying, I'm calling all the shots is harder than if we had the same dog, same temperament, but we did it from 8 weeks. We started on the training, we started doing it, I don't want to say right, but for lack of a better word, the right way. It would still be difficult, but it would be way less difficult for her and for whoever's training her, right? And that goes for every dog that comes through our doors. They've all kind of like slipped, right? It's like, whoops, uh-oh, got out of hand. And then now we're playing catch up, okay? We want to stay one step ahead, as many steps ahead as we can of our dogs. And that's the secret here in this program is we're ahead of them. So we have an answer for every response that they have. So we are a step ahead of them each and every step of the way, and so we don't lose control. Not that things can't happen here and there, but generally we're not going to lose control because we're a step ahead of her. All right? Good girl.
Beautiful.
So everything's looking good. She's like you said, more reps of that. She's taking the correction well. So what I mean by that is she doesn't listen, I correct her, she listens.
She listens, yeah.
That is right there.
That's progress.
The penny, right? The pretty penny that was spent, because that's training right there. That's not how they naturally respond to a correction, especially on an e-collar.
And we had to muzzle her for the first 4 days.
Right, they'll tend to go into fight or flight or go into a temper tantrum or whatever. So through the training process, she's learned to be directed. And if you're going to direct her, you have to be able to reward her and correct her, so without her going crazy. So she took those corrections well. She took a correction, then she did what she was told. So we're on the right track. But that little bit of, why we're harping on it is because that's what you're looking for as the owner. You're looking to say, oh, today she's kind of hesitant on listening. Got to keep that in mind. That's a warning sign that it's slipping.
Yeah.
Right. So, but as you can see, we had a great outing here. She was probably the best behaved dog in this town.
Still, yeah.
Our standards are high. So by keeping our standards high, we keep the incidents low, right? So we have high standards for her. So we're not seeing any of the big stuff. She's not running around biting people. She's not going into panic. We're over here worrying about, like, are you staying? Are you here in my walk, or are you here in my walk? Because that's wrong. You should be here. And we're talking to her about these little things. That's high expectation. If we worry about that, we're not going to see all the big stuff. And we haven't seen it, and we probably won't see it, where she goes into this crazy state and bites. Surprisingly, I haven't seen her go into that.
Not since the first couple days, yep.
So the corrections are working, and she's taking it and going into a calm place versus being corrected and getting more amped up and fussy and frustrated. Good. So I think very good. She's still got enough time here to iron out. Good girl. Her knowledge is there.
Beautiful.